Hey everybody, so I'm going to give a little update on the bike here. What I've done, I didn't video it, but I took the spokes and the hub out of the old wheel on the bike and put it in the new rim. And if you remember, the old rim has two full rows of holes for the spokes, and the spokes were all on one side and the other holes weren't used. And the new rim, it only has half as many holes, and they alternate from side to side. So I thought I would just lace it using the holes as is and see, where that gets me. Um, I also didn't. I think I took a picture of it, but I didn't video it. But I used my dish tool to see, to get a setting for how far this hub was spaced out on one side, because it's not even. If you look at the frame is offset to one side, and one of the basically the brake side. I'm sorry, this side over here is set much further into the rim than this side. This side sticks out, or it did on the old rim. So what's happened here is, now that I've got it laced in there, this is the dish tool, and it's set to where the hub was. This can be hard to do with one hand. It's set to where it was before. Get the rim to stay up by itself. There we go. And as you can see, that pointer is supposed to be resting on that nut, and it's anywhere from 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch off now. So I thought I would try to adjust that, redish the wheel using the spokes. It's fairly true now, but just looking at how much room I have to use, before the spokes start poking through the nipples, I don't think it's going to get me where I need to be. So, but I'm going to try it just for the heck of it anyways. And if not, I'm just going to go ahead and drill new holes, like right here would be one of them, and just use one side. Just like, I might even go ahead and just drill this whole rim as a 72 hole rim like the original one. This rim, the holes are basically an inch apart from each other, and on the old one, on the new one, they're 1.5 inches apart, and on the old one, they're about 1 inch apart. So if I make everything equal, it would put the hub 1/4 of an inch off from where it needs to be. But if I do that, I think I can adjust that out just the same way you would normally dish a wheel, by loosening up one side and tightening the other. So I'm gonna adjust them as much as I can now, and see where that gets me. But I don't think it's gonna go far enough. But I'm gonna give it a try anyway, and I'll post back with the results. Okay, here's a quick update. So what I did was I took 2 turns. I backed off this side 2 turns and tightened this side 2 turns. And as you can see, maybe you can see, the spokes are almost flush with the nipples, so I can't really go much further with it. But I wasn't thinking. I was thinking in the wrong direction, and I actually did it in the wrong direction. So what happened is, now I've got this much space where I had 3/4 of an inch before. Now I've got like 1.25 inches. So I'm gonna have to go back to where it was and then go the opposite direction. Now that I've done this, I realize what I've done. I was thinking I was pulling everything this way, but in reality, I want to effectively make these spokes longer so that this whole part can come up this way, which means backing them off, not tightening them like I did. So So it did move it some. I still don't think it's going to move it enough, but I'll give it a shot and basically go 4 turns in the opposite direction to get me where I should be now. So I'll come back in a minute and update that. Okay, here's where I'm at. So I've loosened this side 4 turns and tightened this side 4 turns from where it was before. And it's gotten me pretty close. I'm about, maybe a quarter to 3/8 off. But the problem is, I think, that's about as far as I can go because these spokes are sort of loose and these spokes are getting tight. And the reason why is because, I don't know if it'll show up on here, but I think I've run out of spoke length. The spokes on the brake side here, the non-drive side, are basically straight up and down. So I can't, all that's going to happen now is if I tighten them up more, it's just going to add more tension to it, but it's not going to move the wheel at all. So, or move the hub. So I think the only answer to get to where it was to begin with is to drill new holes for the one side and move these non-drive side spokes over, and that'll move the hub over and should get it back to where it was to begin with. And it's not a huge deal. So I think that's what I'm going to do because I think I've gotten to the limit of what I can do just by dishing the wheel with tightening the spokes. So I guess the next time you see the wheel, it'll have more holes in it and should be correct. So I'm going to go do that now. Okay, that took less time than I would have thought, so that probably means I screwed something up. But as you can see, I've got a nice little line of holes that line up now. All I need to do is transfer the spokes over, basically back everything off and start from scratch. Transfer all of these spokes over to here, and then dish it again and see where I end up, but it should be pretty close. This wheel kind of reminds me of the wheel on The Price is Right. Come on, 99 cents. Anyways, I'll go finish it up and hopefully that'll be it. Hey, grab the laptop so I could use both hands. Well, I'm done. Kind of skipped a few steps, but you can see it's all laced to one side now, kind of. I can figure out how to show it on the camera. But anyways, it's laced up. It's pretty true. It's got the dish that I want. So it took about 2 hours of trial and error to do this, but I feel like I learned something. So it's not a total waste of time. Sometimes it takes a little while to wrap your head around some stuff. I've realized that when you're truing a wheel and you want to move part of the rim, like if you want to move part of the rim in, then you tighten the spokes on the opposite side. And for some reason I was thinking that was the same for if you wanted to move the hub. So I moved the hub in the wrong direction. So if you want to move the hub, you need to take the spokes that are on the side of the hub that you want to move out and effectively make them longer. So you basically loosen them and then tighten up the other side. And remember when I said it, drilling the holes went really quick, so I probably did something wrong. I didn't do something wrong, but it would have been nice, you can't see it now, but it would have been nice if I would have staggered these holes just a little bit instead of putting them in a straight line, only because when you go to work on stuff, if you're working on it from the end, you can't tell which spoke goes to which side. You have to look around it and see, but no big deal. So I'm going to get the tire on this and then get some pictures up and you can see what it's going to look like with the gold rim in the back.